But the Prosperity Task Force continues going forward. And I think we invited you recently to a discussion of manufacturing clusters. And so we brought some people from San Antonio to tell us how...
You're gradually, subtly moving away from the doom and gloom to an issue where there's great opportunity for our region, correct?
Absolutely. So the idea is always to bring greater prosperity. And the best way of bringing prosperity is by telling the world that we are prepared to take on additional jobs. And one way would be to have a manufacturing cluster where all the organizations that are involved in that segment can participate and discuss issues and concerns amongst themselves. So this is part of the Rio Grande Valley, and so San Antonio has a 400-mile radius. So if we go into perhaps a 400-mile radius, we can reach San Antonio, and we can reach all the way to San Luis Potosí in Mexico and capture all those activities that are going on. And I think it's important to know that here in the Rio Grande Valley, we have SpaceX. And that is a major, they do their own manufacturing there. So it makes sense that we should do a manufacturing cluster. And Ron Garza from UTRGV is looking into this. And we're going to have more discussions, because not only is it important that we do this, it's also important to tell the world that we have a cluster that can support whatever manufacturing activities they bring into the region. So that is something very important that's happening right now.
So when you brought those leaders from San Antonio down for that meeting, that manufacturing group, was under the auspices of the Bexar County Commissioner's Court. It surprised me when I saw the PowerPoint presentation that the Valley initially wasn't on there at all. And that is surprising, given just how many manufacturing jobs there are in Reynosa, Matamoros, allied to the auto industry. But San Antonio had left out the Valley all those years ago when they formed this. And now they've come down here and said, we're going to start including you.
But what happened is that I went to visit them last December, and because I wanted them to come and visit us. And when I looked at their reports, I said, why is our star not illuminated? They had Laredo very highly illuminated. That they were not a particular a good response. But it's really up to us here in the region to become more engaging with the clusters. You can have all kinds of clusters. Right now, we're thinking about manufacturing, but this is obviously a very an area that's concentrated on logistics. So we should probably think of those things also.
So, if I'm understanding you correctly, San Antonio has this cluster. It runs from Dallas through San Antonio, through Laredo, all the way down to beyond Monterrey, I think even including San Luis Potosí. Your response, the task force response, working with UTRGV, is to say, we'll form our own report. We'll do our own study of the cluster we have. It may be automotive, but it will also be energy. It'll also and you'll have something to show site selectors, to show potential investors in that region that this is the scope of our activity here. And you won't be reliant upon San Antonio's map.
Absolutely. Because when you can show someone that people are interested in the topic, and we should be very interested in this particular subject, they have an automotive cluster, which is fine. But I think the idea here is that we make it a little bit broader to include all the other activities that go on, especially with SpaceX. So those conversations are going to continue. Something will be formed that we can officially inform the world, if you will, that we have our own people interested in manufacturing clusters, and then RioPlex obviously can go out and promote this kind of activity.
So, can I ask, has Ron Garza, on behalf of the university, accepted that challenge of creating such a document?
he and I have talked, and he wants to take on the challenge, but we're all going to help. So I think it's no secret UTRGV is a very, very influential organization in our community. So it probably makes a sense that Ron do this because he's involved with economic development, and this is going to be another tool for economic development. So I thank Ron Garza and UTRGV for being such a great support in everything that we do.
Okay. Next subject then, as you bring up the subject of the name RioPlex, the last activity that we reported on was that incredible conference they held up in Houston, and you had all those foreign consulates offices from around the world participating, coming in and learning about the RioPlex region. How are things going with that? What sort of follow-up has there been? What sort of feedback has there been? And what is RioPlex doing right now?
So RioPlex is an evolving organization. It's probably not even a year old yet. And we're going to have our first official meeting as the board tomorrow at 4 p.m. But we still continue to develop promotional materials that are being placed in social media. Some people want to be part of RioPlex, and they want to provide services for that membership. So we are talking to people involved in marketing that will provide a service to help us promote RioPlex. So we have a branding company that's going to help us. We have a SEO operation, search engine optimization operation that they're going to provide service for membership. We have a person that does podcasts, very influential in the region, that wants to do something similar. And then other people are wanting to do something similar.
Of a certain media group that wants to be part of it.
I understand that there's a media group that is going to be at the galaxy level. So we thank them. We'll make all those names known very soon. But so we're very thankful that there's so many individuals that want to be part of this. A very prestigious architectural firm, ERO, has joined us, and so we have put that out there in social media, so people understand that, and others are coming on board. So for us, it's extremely exciting. So we have four levels: the galaxy, the planet, and there's something else called the star. And so we have four different levels, and so we're letting the public know, and they're selecting whatever level is appropriate for them. So that is ongoing right now. We're promoting the levels of membership because RioPlex is almost like a chamber of commerce, and the only way it's going to operate is by people becoming members and paying a fee. We're not going out to the governmental entities that are asking for money. So the business people are saying, we want to be part of this. So up to this point, I think it's fair to say that we have collected probably about $180,000 in membership fees in about 3, 4, 5 month period. It hasn't been very long. So this is something that's very important for the group to do this, so we're doing it right now. The other thing that's happening, organizations are calling us, and they have come by to visit with us, and so they're very enthused about it. They want to come and make an investment in the region. So we'll see how that goes. But I think once we start to promote this a little bit more outside of the region, then it's going to have a greater impact. And I'll tell the story. Some time ago, I wrote an article, and you published the article in the Rio Grande Guardian. And some individual read the article in Torreon, Mexico. So that individual called us, and so we talked, and so they're interested in moving here and setting up what they referred to as a global capability center. And we're still having conversations. It hasn't gone away. And once they finalize a few legal items, then they'll make an announcement. But that's something extremely interesting that people probably don't know how powerful your newspaper is, that people read it from all over the place.
Yeah. I don't wish to brag at all, but I could tell you a similar story about investment from China and New York over the years, because we're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. But that's similar stories, similar situations have been told to me about investment opportunities coming our way because of our coverage. And that's been seen in both China and New York, for what it's worth. But we'll take Torreon every day of the week.
Absolutely. So the people that are watching us from wherever you may be, this is the right place to come and make your investment. I think we have plenty of well-qualified and educated individuals that can take on whatever is brought over to us. And I like to brag about SpaceX, because 80% of the people that are at SpaceX are folks from the Rio Grande Valley. So if anyone is watching, they should pay attention to this, because we can take on anything.
As you said, RioPlex is less than a year old, and you've raised what you've raised so far. And you said earlier you are promoting on social media now. What do you think the time frame is for you to say, okay, we're now ready to be promoting our region, the RioPlex region, in Asia, in Europe?
It's happening. It's happening already. There were a group of people that were in France a couple of weeks ago, and from France they were going to Germany. So the people that are within the RioPlex area, they're out there, and they are promoting RioPlex. I know that COSEP was out there. I know that Sergio Gracia was out there. He's the Mexico Industries newspaper. I know that the CIL folks were out there also. So they're taking the banner. They're promoting RioPlex, but I think as we continue to evolve as an organization, RioPlex, you're going to see a greater impact going forward.
Is it a problem when we try to define ourselves, tell the world who we are and where we are, when we have different brands being put out there? Like you mentioned COSTEP, they call the region Rio South Texas, and they include Laredo. There's RioPlex, which is the Rio Grande Valley and northern Tamaulipas. And yet also, if you look on social media, you see McAllen promoting itself, come to McAllen, or it could be Far, or it could be Brownsville. Or we're all in the same region, but different entities in the valley, different EDCs, either regional or just citywide in nature. They're all doing their own thing, and we're not under one umbrella.
Yeah, that is true. And I think everyone is doing something to promote the area. But I think eventually it is a process, and eventually the work that is being done will be recognized as RioPlex. And if you're from wherever you are in that region, people will see it as RioPlex. And the reason is very clear. You can go anywhere at the city, and what do you have to promote is just your city. But you have to promote the region, whether you want to call it RioPlex, whatever you want to call it. It's still going to be RioPlex at the end of the day. And so when you work with the branding for RioPlex, now you have a greater population that you can talk about. 3.5 million. You have major educational institutions: UT, RGV, A&M, STC, TSC, and TSC. You have all those major institutions, and then you can talk about we have medical school. You can talk about all the airports, all the bridge crossings. So you have to include the broader area that we have. 3.5 billion sounds a lot better than 150,000, but obviously any promotion that you do is good, and if people want to promote their city by themselves, that's fine. That's welcome. And I think sometimes I think of this like like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is the most popular brand, but below Coca-Cola, you have all the other sodas that go along with it, and people recognize that at the end that they belong to Coke, and so I think RioPlex is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and the reason it's not going anywhere is because the business people in the community want this to be. The day that they say we don't want this, then it's going to be a different story. But when the people that invest the most in our community want this, then we're going to be here, and it's not going to go away.
Thank you for that in-depth update on RioPlex. Very important.